Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Toys on Trial, the show where we lovingly eviscerate the time-honoured plastic of our youth, one questionable design at a time. I am your host this evening, Rowdy Roddy Fletcher.
And his opponent, from Detroit, Michigan, representing NWO Wolfpack, Big Sexy Michael Briarwood!
I'll tell you that. Now, I had no idea, folks, that it was a solid intro. This was not talked about at all, but I absolutely love it. Now, long intro. Okay, we'll stop now. Okay, welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, think of us as Crime Stoppers for Toys. Now, you can catch our previous episodes on YouTube, and on
yes.
Twitch. Yes, YouTube. Yeah, up and coming that
You
one.
choked.
I choked. You choked. Okay, now, tell us what the crux of today's episode is, Mike.
Well, tonight we're talking about big sweaty men in their underwear.
Ooh.
And that's just not what I did over the weekend. We are talking all things pro wrestling.
My old man wouldn't appreciate you speaking about him that way. Anyway, go on.
Moving on. He-Man again. Oh, God. No, as I said, despite the shirt, we are contractually prohibited from talking about He-Man. That's the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, what? I don't know. What is this He-Man? I know nothing of this toy line. Wait, is it a toy line? I don't even know.
So, little idea of the premise of our show here. We award this figure from a mystery toy line that we're not allowed to mention to the worst toy we speak about all season.
Indeed, the Golden Rammy. So this is apparently a toy from some line that we've never ever heard of, which is kind of famously
Terrible.
Lackluster. And so this is our award for other famously lackluster toys. Hopefully we'll be looking at a few of these offenders
Honestly,
tonight.
that's what lackluster toys strive to achieve.
You don't have to strive to achieve much at all, really, hence lackluster.
Indeed.
Yeah,
so,
which I can get behind.
And of course, our first segment for this evening is, of course, Exhibit A.
Exhibit A.
Rowdy Roddy, you got anything you want to show off this evening?
I'm so glad you asked, Mike. Now, Exhibit A, if you're not sure what this is basically our version of show and tell. Pickups that we've come in through the week. And, this week I entered my submission. Now, I've left the accessories for this at home, but I'm really into the Palisades Muppets toys at the moment. I was finally able to get the beloved Fozzie Bear.
Waka!
Look at that, folks. Now, he is complete. He comes with a microphone and the glasses with the big nose. Yeah, head moves, fully articulated. And he comes with a rubber chicken. Imagine that. Now, and the best thing about these is, aside from the gorgeous likeness, of course, the magnetic accessories. So we've got Fozzie's little hat here, and that just...
What would Fozzie sound like commentating a wrestling match? Oh, he's going for the clothesline. Oh, that looked like it hurt.
Waka.
I think I kind of did some weird Kermit Fozzie hybrid there, like the love child of Kermit and Fozzie.
I was going to say same voice actor, but it's actually not true. So it was Jim Henson / Steve Whitmire, and then Frank Oz did Fozzie and Piggy.
And Yoda.
In Yoda.
Papa damn.
So that's my submission for Exhibit A, folks. If you have something else that you've picked up this week, do drop us a line in the comments. So, hopefully it's something cool. We'll give you a shout out. Mike.
They did indeed do an Indiana Jones Kermit. Now,
they did.
My Exhibit A for this week is... yes. My Exhibit A for the week is actually something I found in the $2 bin right here at Aaron's Collectibles.
Ooh.
2 Main Street, Blackburn, for all your collectible needs.
Aaron, if you're watching, he did pay for it. The $2 is right here.
Copy of Blue Velvet on DVD.
Oh, right.
Get my lynch on.
Get your lynch on.
Get your lynch on. Proud member of the lynch mob.
Hey! I love that. Did you plan that?
No, I did not. That was right off the cuff. That's
live.
That's how you know we're live. The jokes are terrible.
Indeed.
Now with pro wrestling being somewhat in the news of late, I don't know if you guys have heard what's happening in WWE at the moment. Vince McMahon has been a very naughty boy.
Oh, we bonk him.
Well, that's the problem. He couldn't control who he was bonking.
Ooh.
Yeah, a bit of a sex scandal in the old WWE
Waka,
at the
waka.
moment. Waka. Yeah, bit of a sex scandal in the old WWE at the moment. We won't bore you with the details, primarily because this is a family show.
Yeah, we're not getting anything out of it.
Has led to Vince's retirement and the stepping up of people who have been waiting in the wings for bloody ever and never thought they'd get the company.
Indeed.
So, with that being somewhat topical at the moment, we thought we would talk all things pro wrestling.
Now, with wrestling toys, to be fair, this is, sort of playing devil's advocate in a way. With wrestling toys, I feel like, it's kind of an uphill battle. Basically because unlike other toy lines, you're dealing with something exclusively based on the likenesses of real people. People who actually exist. Characters.
Artificially inflated people.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, steroid gagometer, that's one. Bing!
Are we keeping count? Do we have a thing in the corner of the...
Oh, no. We're too low budget
That's
for that.
Pre-production.
Yep, here we go. One.
Note to self. One. I'm going to jot these down every time.
Tell me what is the difference between wrestling and wrestling? I've never known. Wrestling is southern.
Wrestling.
That's good old-fashioned wrestling.
That's right. And they really don't...
And also, have you watched Heels on Stan, by the way?
Not yet.
Actually really good.
Oh?
Yeah. No, it is... Heels, for those who aren't familiar, it's a series about a regional wrestling promotion. Actually really good. It's got Stephen Amell from Arrow.
Oh, okay.
As one of the main actors. Honestly, really good.
Yeah, good.
I will warn you though, the chap who played Sheriff Belfleur in True Blood is in it, and he does get completely naked at one point.
Oh.
It's not a pretty sight.
Oh, well, neither are the half the toys we're looking at today.
It's true, actually.
Indeed.
I mean, that's the whole premise of our show.
That's true. That's true. We send toys to the naughty corner.
Wrestling sounds more racist. That is true.
That was wait.
I don't know, like white and southern.
Ah, yeah, I'm with you now.
Yeah,
no worries. Yeah. And as for wrestling, they really don't. People don't like it when you point out that it's basically male burlesque.
And I will point something out too. There is a history of racism in wrestling. We will not be addressing that tonight. We're pretty much here to talk about the fun stuff. But
the whole plastic, and nothing but the plastic. Maybe some vinyl, maybe a bit of...
Do you have figures that become more valuable when their real-world counterparts are involved in scandals or crimes? I'm thinking Chris Benoit, Ric Flair. That's actually a really good question, Gravedigger. And again, this is probably not something to address on this. We are a family show and we are a fun show. But just...
We get away with a lot, though.
We do get... Oh, my God, DP or not DP last week. Wow. And yeah, Dark Side of the Ring guy was an absolute eye-opener. And really good watch too, honestly.
Beautiful.
But yeah, some of the stuff that went on in the background and some of the stuff that went on even in front of the cameras was really freaking cringe.
Honestly, when you're
we're here to poke fun at it.
And when you're a public figure like pro wrestlers are, then you're open to that much more scrutiny.
Yeah.
So same thing here with AFL members, this and that. The microphone, the magnifying glass is just that little bit.
Extra Miller flash figures, how they go. Oh dear!
Boy.
All right. Wow.
I feel like this is going to be one of those long ones.
I'm actually amazed we were able to get through the entire DC Comics episode without an Ezra Miller joke.
Yes. Well, yeah. Who knew he was waiting for us in the wrestling episode? Okay. Now, bring in our first accused.
Okay. Well, our first thing we'd like to look at is what is widely regarded as not technically the first wrestling figures, but the first really well-known ones. If we could roll the first clip, please, back end.
My house. I'll bring my guys. You have yours. I've got Junkyard Dog.
It's World Wrestling Federation Superstars.
I've got Brutus Beefcake. Here's George the Animal Steel. I've got Great Hammer Valentine. Ricky the Dragon Steel.
They're so real.
And Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Can you tell the difference? Wrestling Superstars. They're for real. Each sold separately from LJN.
Yeah! Now, that would have been a really difficult script to write. I mean, can you imagine? Yeah! Rah! Ah! I mean, okay, the kids, I've got Junkyard Dog. I've got George the Animal Steel. I think, do we have a George the Animal Steel?
Rowdy had more lines in that commercial than he did in They Live, aside from, put on the damn glasses.
Yeah. You know, kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Oh, it's famous.
Yeah.
He was known for his catchphrases, that boy.
He was indeed. And
yes, the LJN line.
Interesting postscript to, and while we're going off on the off into the weeds here, on the topic of Rowdy Roddy Piper, did you ever play Saints Row 4?
I did not.
On the PlayStation 3, I think it came out on. There may, in fact, be a copy of it over there. Aaron's Collectibles, 2 Main Street, Blackburn. Keith David was one of the main voice actors for that game. Keith David, of course, played the other guy in They Live.
Yep.
Rowdy Roddy Piper came in as a guest star a little later on.
Oh.
And, of course, they did the reenactment of the famous fight from They Live.
Oh, the greatest fight scene in cinema history, honestly.
Oh, fantastic.
20 minutes. All he had to do was say, can you please put on these just for a sec? And he'd be like, why? It's like, trust me. Just, I want to see what you say. And that would have saved us 20 minutes of a hilarious fight scene. But thank you for that, John Carpenter.
Look up what Keith David said. Little homework for you guys. Look up what Keith David said about that fight scene after you watch the episode. Keith David was not a wrestler, but he completely held his own, and there's one of the best fights ever. Do you know why that is, Gravedigger?
Damn straight.
Do you know why that is? Because Roddy Piper legitimately beat the ass out of Keith David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith David rules. Fight me. Just don't fight me. You won't get much of a fight.
I mean, this is a pro wrestling episode. We can pretend to fight.
Indeed, just like they do. I had that coming.
Anyway, so yes, the LJN wrestling figures. We actually have a few of them here. This is the Ljn Hillbilly Gym. Mm-hmm. Now, you'll notice a few things about these figures. For one, they're made of rubber. And the other, there is literally no articulation. This is a solid rubber statue, a little bit bendy.
Now, that wasn't originally to be the case, was it, Mike?
No, I believe they were originally just going to be hard plastic, weren't they? Or were they supposed to have articulation?
I believe they were supposed to have armature wire running throughout. So as a lot of posable toys of that material do, we lift on this and that. But in the end, and I know collectors hate hearing this, but sorry guys, it's kind of true. We basically got dog toys.
We absolutely did.
Cool dog toys. I never owned any myself, but I was guilty as, you know...
I love that Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Indeed. I was guilty as a kid of admiring my friends.
And honestly,
toys.
Come on, Bobby Heenan as... Like, check out that face sculpt. I don't know if you can quite see it yet. Oh, bye, Gavin. Nice to see you. Less said about the derpy eyes, the better.
Yeah. I mean, it was the 80s, you know, we could say...
I remember these things were durable AF. The dog had to go, we electrocuted them, set them on fire, and they did not break. Unlike the actual wrestlers.
Honestly, the only thing... These do really stand the test of time. The only thing that really doesn't is the paint. Paint is the first thing to go. It gets scuffed, and, you know, trying to find a Hulk Hogan with the belt, or, you know, a Rowdy that still has Hot Rod across the chest, you know, in full print. It just doesn't happen. And if you are looking for mint, you will end up paying big money. But
a B. Brian Blair that doesn't just look completely ridiculous.
And of course, some of those later releases.
What were they thinking?
Some of those later releases were worth a lot of money. The ones that came out on the black cards.
Went to 20 or 30 wrestling events in 1976, 1977. Was that the old Festival Hall wrestling events, William? Oh, God, he's gone over.
We knew they'd go over. These are impossible to
there goes Nash. Probably torn another quad.
Should we bonk them for their inability to stand?
Well,
Let's hold off.
Brian Blair's just pinned Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Now, I'm not in a bikini and I'm not holding up.
But yeah, Williams actually brought up an interesting thing there. It's not really toy related, but did you know that for a period in the 1970s, the largest pro wrestling promotion in the world, World Championship Wrestling, not the WCW that came along in the 80s, 90s, different World Championship Wrestling, was based here in Melbourne.
Here in Melbourne?
Yep. They ran their events out of Festival Hall primarily. And yeah, you would get like major... Andre the Giant came out here and wrestled. You had...
Honestly, I'm not surprised. Festival Hall, God knows I've been to a lot of gigs there. May it rest in peace.
Well, it's still there. It's just the Hillsong Church owned it. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, let's not go into that.
Festering Hall, best Australian wrestling venue. The last thing I went to at Festival Hall, Aaron, was a wrestling show.
Oh.
New Japan Pro Wrestling. They put on a couple of shows there quite recently. Japanese wrestling's brilliant.
Last thing I went to there was I went and saw Pulp in 2011 on their reunion tour. It was fantastic. But yeah, I totally picture Festival Hall as great for wrestling.
Apparently they're reuniting again now.
Oh, yes, please. Anyway, moving on. So
LJN, yes, LJN toys.
Not quite bonk-worthy. However,
something that the sister line of the LJN toys, I would say, is quite bonk-worthy. Let's take a look at this.
Indeed.
Now, sorry, just bear with me a sec, folks. Just bringing this up on the screen for y'all.
I can already see this picture, and it's actually interesting to bring this up. This is literally the only pack of this particular line I had. All right, and it was quite
Rod.
good. Yep.
Me hand.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. 1, 2, 3. Well, that was brief.
My Mortal
Actually,
Kombat
Chad, who works here, is a big New Japan Pro Wrestling fan.
He is.
Shout out to Chad. These thumb wrestlers had a giant hole in their backside
That's
that
right.
you shoved your thumb up.
Yep.
Now, that was a thing.
It was.
Yeah. Now, I didn't
pack
have
here.
this pack. I had the Hulk Hogan and the Iron Sheik pack.
This was the pack I had. Hulk Hogan and Nikolai Volkov.
As one does if one's Steve Irwin.
Yep.
Gonna put me thumb in his butthole now.
I knew someone would make that reference tonight, and I'm glad someone did. See, that's a shout
Where
out.
do the thumbs go? Oh my god.
Sadly,
Let me tell you something, brother.
the expressions on the figures don't quite reflect that, though. Imagine if they did. That'd
Not
be so good.
profit. Now, not to be outdone on the thumb wrestling front, and have a look at the paper hands in the one was Russian, so you could fight the Cold War. Honestly, that was exactly it.
Yes.
Like, I'm not even kidding. That
Yes.
was exactly the whole point.
Yep. Mid-80s.
Then they tried to do it with Sergeant Slaughter as an Iraqi sympathizer in the early 90s, and that just did not work.
I'll tell you, if you were Sergeant Slaughter in 1986, you were having a great time because you were both.
Yeah, if you were Sergeant Slaughter in 1991, you weren't.
Yeah, you were a WWF
And
figure
that
a
is
G.I. Joe
right.
figure.
And in the 2020s, Masters of the Universe figure.
Oh boy,
Yeah, true story.
he's collecting toy lines, that old boy.
Now, not to be outdone with the
But is it bonk-worthy?
Is it
Thumb
bonk-worthy?
wrestlers?
Well, here's the thing. They're not, but I would say WCW's response is. Now,
Okay. All right. This might be our first
these,
shocker, ladies
if we
and gentlemen.
can, if we can bring that screen back up, please. Thank you. These are the WCW Finger Fighters. Now, have a look at this. You've got the plastic wrestling ring there,
Right.
for starters. These are basically the same things, but they are disembodied torsos with arms. Not only that, I have no idea who those guys are.
They're not figures.
Like
they're
that
half
one-
figures.
That one on the left, the one with the slightly... Very nice, Aaron.
That
one-
one here from New Adult Rank. Oh,
Aaron,
no.
That Aaron. But yeah, that maybe Lex Luger on the side, or maybe Brian Pillman, because it looks a little bit like the Brian Pillman figure we have here.
A little bit.
The blonde guy, I've just got no clue. Dustin Rhodes, maybe? But yeah, anyway. The Finger Fighters. Disembodied torsos, no legs, and you're supposed to put your finger in there and have them fight. No, I'm sorry, but...
Nah, first cab off the rank.
Yep.
We find you guilty.
1, 2, 3.
You're out of here.
You're out of here.
No, not for me. I'm
That's a
sorry.
pretty good Shawn
The
Michaels
WWF
impersonation.
thumb wrestlers. Yep, sure, fine. This, poor imitation.
I'm not reading that.
That's the Sergeant Slaughter. He's as tough as they come.
You can take his wrestling fingers.
I stick it up. Hey, okay. Now we're moving on to the next thing.
And we're cancelled. All right, what do we get next?
Oh, it goes from bad to worse. Again, uphill battle, having to base toys off of actual people. Never easy. I mean, there are some great ones over the years.
That said, though, like having basing toys off actual people, it means you can easily get people into the commercials to advertise them. Now, next cab off the rank, and honestly, this comes down on the side of cool rather than on the side of bonk. Does anyone remember the wrestling buddies of the 1980s and 1990s? We'd roll that second clip, please.
What those boys are up to.
Introducing WWF Wrestling Buddies. Wrestling Buddies from Tonka. Funk 'em, bop 'em. Wrestling Buddies are looking for action.
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Nothing, Dad. Rocket!
Who do you think you are?
Dad, Hulk Hogan!
Wrestling Buddies want to be your buddy.
Henry, what's going on up there?
Nothing, dear.
WWF Wrestling Buddies, new from Tonka. Each sold separately.
Okay, I just need to point this out. Like, the look of absolute horror on Rod's face right now. Honestly, we've been doing this show for about 3 or 4 months now, and this is the first time this guy's ever actually been. They're not dating, they're just wrestling buddies.
I have some notes. I have some notes. I'm not gonna lie. And my notes.
And honestly, those things were.
My notes are these. They're teddy bears. They are human teddy bears. They're literally worse than these.
I was more talking about like the way they were. That was disturbing.
You cuddle next to them when you get
You're
like, yeah.
Oh my god.
That is a teddy. They're all teddies.
And it's about to get worse too. Check this out. Check this out.
No, I mean, there's a wait. Okay. See, that one in the corner is not too bad.
And notice too, you know, I don't know what they've done here. Like, you've got your various WWF and WCW guys. I'm concerned that these were not used for traditional cuddling. Yes, that was what I was getting at, but trying to think of a family-friendly way to say.
Or were they?
Yeah. But look at this. You've got Spider-Man and you've got the Hulk in there. I don't know how that happened.
See, the Hulk one, you know.
You've got Jake the Snake Roberts, complete with Snake. The LOD, complete with spiky shoulder pads.
Wait. When you say complete with Snake.
Actual Snake,
Oh, God.
Rodney.
Thank you. Right.
Python.
Okay, well, they're bloody...
Its name was Damien. It was a long boy.
There is a cereal box that is
Now
obscuring
that's,
the screen.
now that's not creepier than a room full of pops, is it?
Not at all. There is a cereal box in the way. I cannot see all of what Mike is showing on his monitor right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I feel like I'm missing some crucial details.
Yeah. Anyway,
not seeing
so
it.
that's enough of that. There is indeed a cereal box obscuring the screen. Bootios. They make sure you ain't booty.
We're not going to bonk that because that's actually legit cool.
Oh yeah, I mean look at this. Oh, and there goes Kevin Nash. Probably tore his quad again. But yeah, check this out. This is I don't know if you're familiar with the New Day. They're a current act in WWE. But yeah, one of their gimmicks was they had a cereal called Bootios. So open it up.
Man.
3 of the figures inside.
With awesome expressions. And they're really cool.
Unicorn horns and a trombone.
Really cool likenesses.
Xavier Woods' hair there, like that's vertical.
I don't know what, but I know what I like. And I like this.
And you can make your own booty corn mask.
Oh. I feel like you can cover multiple fandoms with this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just move Big Daddy Cool here out of the way.
He's crazy like a fool.
Yes, indeed.
All right, someone heal me, kit me. Yeah, kit me for that. I'm gonna bonk myself for that. I didn't hold back either.
I noticed that. That was quite a hard bonk.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're probably moving away from LJN now. I'd say we've pretty much covered all the 80s we can on this.
They've done enough damage.
But check the articulation on this thing. That's actually pretty impressive.
All right, yes. It does get better, folks.
It does get better. So
look at this John Cena. Obviously a much more recent figure. But that's great. This whole line was great, to be honest.
that's the current line.
That's
the current Mattel line, yeah.
Oh, that explains it. You know, modern technology, that's cheating.
But yeah,
But we were a long way off eventual perfection.
Yes. Now coming up, so LJN actually lost the license to the WWF line in around 1990, primarily because
Yeah.
And there was that Andre the Giant you wanted me to show too, which I don't.
Oh yes.
I don't think you. No, you didn't. So the license then went to Hasbro, our old friends Hasbro of Transformers and GI Joe. LJN was before the group had added all the extra letters. I don't get it.
Oh right. I think it's an LGBT joke. Okay.
Oh. Yeah. Moving on. Thanks, Aaron. Moving on. So yeah, Hasbro then took over the license with, and honestly, they kind of ran with that particular ball.
All right. By and large, these weren't too bad, folks.
We actually do have a few here to show you in a second.
Yeah, I take issue with one of these in particular, but we'll get to that in just a moment.
As you can see there, we've got Tatanka. We've got Razor Ramon, who was one of my favorites, just recently passed away, sadly.
Yes.
R.I.P. Scott Hall. El Matador, Tito Santana. So, again, a little bit cringe there. But Tito Santana, widely known as a very talented wrestler. Sid Justice, complete with Powerbomb. I think that's where those ginormous hands from that bootleg we had in the cabinet came from.
Ah, yes.
Hulk Hogan with, I can't read that, and the big boss man there. But yeah, they really ran with that. They released dozens upon dozens of these figures.
But they weren't all diamonds, as they say.
No, I mean, we've got, we can just, this is going to go very, oh, there goes Nash again.
We knew this would happen, so it's fine.
Yeah, like we've got a Hasbro Hacksaw Jim Duggan here. Sadly not complete with American flag and 2x4 accessory, but his action feature still works.
But look at his back, flip him over. He looks like Homelander enough. I don't know if you watch The Boys or not, but
ooh, yeah, good point.
Yeah. But
and yeah, following on from that, we have a Scott Steiner figure here.
Yeah, is that for you?
Thanks for that.
No worries.
Oh, Cedar actually managed to stay up. Good for him.
Ah, yes, spoke too soon.
Yeah, God, clearly I did. Yeah, this guy, you wind up his arm and it spins back around. Now, I actually met Scott Steiner.
You did?
True story.
When did that happen?
Between WCW shutting down and TNA coming along, TNA Wrestling, of course, we've got the World Heavyweight Championship belt there. There was a company called WWA, WWA, that is, which was run by the McManus Group based in Queensland. Now, Scott Steiner here, and he looked very different. He looks very different now than he used to. He's covered in tattoos and has white, like short white hair and a white goatee. And honestly, he is jacked to the gills. This boy he's got more gas than your local Texaco. Ding, ding! That's two.
That's two.
And yeah, and honestly, he is, on TV, he is a scary man.
So a bit like Vanilla Ice. Just looks like nothing like he used to look. Yeah, fair enough.
And honestly, so a friend of mine, a chap named Daniel Matthews, shout out to Daniel if you're watching.
Hi, Daniel.
No, damn well you're not. I haven't spoken to you in about 15 years, but that's fine.
Not good enough.
Had a wrestling radio show.
Oh.
Yeah, over in Geelong. Now, he just rings me one night and says, get down to Frostbites in South Yarra.
Oh, bloody Frostbites.
Yeah, so I go down to Frosties. I was living in Glen Huntly at the time. And here are all these pro wrestlers that I'd been watching on TV. So I met a lot of people that day.
Very cool.
And yeah, Scott Steiner came up to me and I figured, okay, all right, I might be in trouble here.
Now, at this point, just to get back on track a bit, at this point, figures were getting...
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I just finished the story. Shakes my hand and says, yeah, thanks for being a fan, and that was it. Nice guy.
Lovely.
The next time I saw Scott Steiner, he had Shirley Manson on his shoulders.
Garbage lead vocalist, if you're not aware.
Yeah.
She's not a garbage lead vocalist. She's a great lead vocalist.
Yeah,
but
that was the M1 show. But yeah, getting back on track for a moment. WCW also, they saw the success WWF was having with the Hasbro figures, and decided to bring out this line.
For every action, there's a reaction.
There is indeed. Now, this is Brian Pillman. Again, sadly lost in 1997. May he rest in peace. Never a WCW World Champion, so I don't know why he's got the belt. But one thing you will notice about this figure, again, zero articulation, hard as a rock. Honestly, I could knock Rod unconscious with this thing.
So, from the feel of this is almost like a shrunk down LJN figure from the 90s, but even more hard. But
it's hard, and
this would hurt, folks. It
would absolutely hurt.
If someone yeeted this at you from across the room and it hit you in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's hard, but it feels more brittle at the same time.
Yeah, it seems to have held up pretty good. What
yeah,
are we,
but
like,
if you
20
squeeze,
years
if you 20 to 27 years old, that thing.
yeah, this is oof,
But yeah, if you squeezed it too hard, you'd break a leg off.
probably.
Yeah. Anyway.
Otherwise sturdy. But yeah, the other ones, the Hasbro.
Yeah.
In the similar scale, they did Rowdy dirty. They did
indeed.
They did my boy Rowdy already.
So
very dirty.
following on from the Hasbro line,
Mhm.
the license went over to Jakks Pacific. It's jumped around quite a lot
It has
over the years.
with questionable results.
Mm,
If you're familiar with much of the Jakks Pacific,
yeah.
it always sounds like saying Jack Specific.
DX turning up at a WCW event, yeah, with their tank that was obviously a Jeep.
Oh boy.
And yes, every time they've referred to it ever since, I'm like, oh, DX turned up at a WCW event at a tank. It's a Jeep. It's a freaking Jeep. Don't be embarrassed. It's a Jeep.
Now tell me this, Mike. Were Jakks Pacific responsible for the stomp range?
Yes, they were, Rod.
Okay.
They're also responsible for the Bone Crunch in Action range, which gave rise to this rather depressed-looking Undertaker.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
He's a sad boy. And this was the Bone Crunch in Action range, too. Like, you can see how
But that face, though.
rubbery these arms are.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
forlorn.
It
Everyone
really
asks
is.
where Undertaker. They never ask how
Undertaker. Mm-hmm.
Heavens.
Rest in peace.
Speaking of recipes, we mentioned Brian Pillman before.
He is actually still with us, the
Yes.
Undertaker.
We
Now
mentioned...
doing one-man comedy shows.
Ah, very good.
True story. Yes, Brian Pillman. So
Yes, we mentioned Brian Pillman before, and the stomp line. Now, he had passed away at this point, I think, or around about this point, and I feel like they did the boy dirty. This one is a questionable figure. We're going to bring up an image in just a moment. This whole line in particular, I mean, it was kind of you were telling me earlier.
WWF does G.I. Joe,
Indeed,
basically.
and
So you'd have a regular wrestling figure, but you'd have all these snap-on accessories. So here's Brian Pillman with what looks like a Nerf rifle, a really weird-looking knife, some sort of survival vest, and a terrified-looking facial expression.
yeah, and if you wonder if you've seen that expression before, we actually have another. We did the legwork, and we were able to trace the origins of this particular figure. I believe the file is called Pillman
There it is.
Compare.
Yep, there it is.
Yes, okay. Yes, and this is immediately what just came to mind, honestly. It's just when you look at that figure, here's a close-up of that figure and its origins. Now, here we have Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor. We also have Reagan from The Exorcist. Add the two together, and there you get
Can't argue with that.
the Stomp Brian Pillman.
Cannot argue with that.
And this came out at a time when the lad had passed. I think he actually had passed before this figure.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I feel like they did the boy dirty. I don't know about you, Mike, but this particular figure.
Oh,
is
no, the
definitely-
stomp line in general, because, you've got the Stone Cold Steve Austin stomp there. Again, with a beret. Do you ever see Steve Austin in a beret?
No.
No.
Not for me.
I think I may even have another. Is that stomp? Oh, yeah, here we go. There's the underwater. No, the Space Undertaker. Space Undertaker right there.
Shark.
Yeah. Honestly, that's
It's always starting to go downhill, folks. It's always dark.
It's not only jumped the shark, he's been hit with a chicken.
Yes,
Right, if you will.
indeed.
Remember, 1,
2.
3.
Yep, that is a big no to the stomp line. No, thank you.
For wrestling episode, I'm surprised there hasn't been more bonking. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, indeed. Now it is always,
Austin, Bob 316 says, I just whacked your ass.
it is always darkest.
And that is
before,
officially the best joke of the episode right there.
it is always darkest before the dawn. And before we got to these figures, we would have many miles to tread. Which I think brings us to...
Well, you would have heard about the controversy in the 1990s, of course, around the Al Snow figure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this particular Al Snow figure, I don't know if...
Here's one for the books, ladies and gents.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Al Snow. Before we bring this up, his whole gimmick was that he brought a mannequin head to the ring and just, did this whole headbanging thing. His entrance music sounded... In fact, I'm going to play his entrance music for you in just a moment, just so you can see what we're dealing with here.
Suffice it to say, what you're about to see did not translate
Hang on.
so well as toy.
What does everybody want?
And of course, you know, the answer to what does everybody want? Everyone in the audience chanted, head.
What does everybody need?
Yeah, it just went on from there.
This is no longer a family show, is it?
Well,
Being
much,
honest,
much
probably
like
hasn't
the
been for a while.
much like the WWF in 1998, where you had to be that, you absolutely did. Much like the WWF in 1997, I think we've gone TV 14.
Does it translate to toy though?
Well, and that's what we're here to determine. Look at that thing.
Your input is welcome, guys.
Now, the issue that, I mean, the briefcase there with like underwear and socks in there, yeah, okay, that's faintly amusing. But it of course came with the head, with "Help Me" written backwards on its forehead.
That's kind of dark.
It's incredibly dark, and of course, you know, it doesn't look like a mannequin head. It just looks like a doll head.
Yeah, because when you have
So
a
as
doll
far
head
as-
next to a toy head, they're both toy heads. And so, you know,
So, and of course, you know, people were seeing that thing in Walmart and thinking, he's come packaged with a dismembered head.
yeah, that's a bit off color for me.
That is a bit off color.
Now, I feel like
Yeah,
there's a
you
third joke in there, isn't there? What are we up to? Number 3?
No,
Something about road rage?
Yeah,
Straight away, I thought it
WWF
said
Roid Rage. Yeah.
There you go.
Ding!
3, ding.
All right, so yeah, the Al Snow with head figure. What do you think?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
2 on the nose.
It's been pinned. It's been pinned. It's out of here.
There's been some great wrestling figures over the years.
That's not one of them. Oh, I know what you want to talk about.
Oh boy.
Yep. All right, before we move off the Jakks Pacific line, I think we need to talk Maximum Sweat.
Girl, you're gonna make me sweat. Sweat till I can't sweat no more. All right, let's pick it up.
And if you cry, I'm gonna push it some more. A la 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 la. Maximum Sweat.
Maximum sweat. Hey, what are we talking about? You're about to see. This is the toy that no one ever asked for. The whole line no one ever bloody asked for. What kid lay awake at night going, you know what my figures need? They really, really need maximum, and I mean maximum.
Not only that, like,
sweat.
I mean, okay, we got a couple of things here. Like, look how jacked that figure is. Road Dogg, to give you an idea, he's about my build.
Yes.
Might even be a little bit smaller. Again, like, they've pumped him full of something, and it's not water.
It's not sweat either. That's like mutagen. That's like Ninja Turtles kind of stuff. You know, from Shredder to Super Shredder. That's what we're looking at here.
So the idea, you know, official Federation sweat on the water bottle there. The idea here was you pump the figure full of water.
Pump the brakes. Does that mean it's real sweat because it's official Federation sweat? That's disgusting.
No.
No.
Gross.
No. If we
Anyway,
bonk this
but
before,
yeah,
it's it.
Yeah, the figure actually, like, the water would seep out of the figure.
We don't have enough rubber chickens to bonk this into oblivion.
We absolutely do not. And this line went a while. That's the Undertaker.
They went all in.
They absolutely did go all in. And again, you look at the musculature on that guy.
I feel dirty just looking at this.
Yeah, that's. I don't even want to bonk it. I just don't want to look at it.
No. And they're all like this, guys. And we had looked at.
Honestly, yeah. I was going to bring up a group shot of like, that's just off. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that is rank.
That is rank.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, you know what? I'm exempting this from bonking because looking at it makes me physically ill. So
it's so bad. Basically, the judge can't even stomach being in the court.
The judge cannot stomach being in the same.
Look at that. It broke him. You know.
Did you just decapitate the chicken?
He decapitated himself. He looked at those and like, I'm checking out. So see you later.
Hang on. He's off to Chicken Hospital.
He's
Maybe Klaus can stand in for him for a bit.
all right. Klaus, mate, you about? Yep. Where are you, mate? We have a chicken emergency. You call?
Yes, the chicken has unfortunately just the chicken wanted the extra head. Well, maybe.
No, that's an off-color joke. You're looking at the maximum sweat figures around you, aren't you?
We were looking at the maximum sweat figures, Klaus.
God.
Tell me, is there a maximum sweat Klaus variant out there?
Good Lord, I hope not.
The chicken choked. He did indeed. Well, look,
if you're checking my browser history, then maybe.
Well, hopefully Bonk will be back with us next episode. Now,
Did you legit break the chicken?
we
No, I did.
may he rest in peace.
No, he'll be fine. He does this all the time.
Do a 3 count for Bonk. Yep. Sorry, Bonk.
There are gonna be no wrestling toys on the table when we're done with this.
Honestly, I'm surprised they've lasted this long.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, so
Bye, folks.
look, with that in mind, look, honestly, I think this feels like a natural end point to this episode. I've really got nothing else to discuss.
We have looked at some corkers.
Oh my god, this.
So take us back to this motley crew. We've got the maximum sweat.
We've got the miraculously healed Bonk.
Yes. Exactly. See, when we stop talking about maximum sweat, then things are fine. It's only when we bring that up. So yes, the maximum sweat line, gross. The stomp line, yep. The G.I. Joe crossover, nah.
Yeah. This guy.
The non-thumb wrestlers, the one, the WCW ones, were
Yeah,
there?
WCW ones.
Where you're just buying half a figure.
Literally half a figure.
And I'm sorry, fans, retro fans, but the Ljn.
Oh no! Last minute entry.
Oh.
And this is a figure. New evidence. This is a figure that was never actually released.
Oh.
Now.
They saved the best to last, ladies and gents.
Now,
wait till you get an eye
the
for
McMahon
this.
family were, of course, the focal point of the WWF and WWE for quite a few years. Not so much now, thankfully. But we of course received figures of Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon. The one McMahon we never received a figure of was Linda.
Quality landfill.
Oh, 100%. Now, Linda went into politics a little later on. We won't discuss that because,
Less said about that, the better.
Ooh. But yes, this is a figure of Linda McMahon that was very nearly released.
Yep. What almost was.
Look at that thing.
Now, does anyone else look at this and get taken back to our Marvel episode where we looked at that atrocious Aunt May figure? Because I kind of do.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not so much Gary Busey, more a bit Betsy Palmer at the end of Friday the 13th, without her head.
Yeah, honestly, that thing would probably look better without the head. Maybe that's where the head from the El Snow figure should have.
Oh yeah. They should have taken the head of this figure and then put it in the one with.
And this woman, I'd say I'm loath to speak ill of people in general, but it's Linda McMahon, so this woman had all the personality of a paper bag.
That's even less than our judge here. Sorry.
Yeah, legit. Like, charisma black hole, that woman. Absolutely awful.
Oh, I remember her. Yeah, she's older than I am.
Yes, well. Yeah.
Well, we have looked at some interesting specimens. We shall review these documents and other court lingo. See, Mike and I are very clearly professional lawyers. No, we just ape everything we hear on TV. Lots of bullshit. Thank you, TV. But yes, so the storied history of wrestling figures, it has its ups and downs, just like every toy line does. And but eventually, it would get pretty darn great if I do say so myself. Now, I don't actually collect these. Do you collect much wrestling figures now?
No, I really don't.
Yeah. What did you have as a kid?
I had the thumb wrestlers, the Hulk Hogan and Iron Sheik thumb wrestlers.
Yeah.
That was literally it.
Me too, but with Nikolai Volkov in place of Iron Sheik.
That looks like Barbara Billingsley, the Beaver's mum, raided the Fonz's closet. You know what? Yeah.
Do you remember Barbara Billingsley? She was the voice of, I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Muppet Babies in the 80s. Yeah, she was the voice of the nanny. And you only ever saw her legs. Her legs and then like the top of her skirt.
Now, much like the parrots in Cow and Chicken, Nanny from Muppet Babies was actually a pair of disembodied legs.
That's my theory too, and I'm sticking with it.
She was the legs from the WCW figures we were talking about earlier.
If you can't see it, it doesn't exist. Nope.
Well, damn, I almost got through the entire episode without doing the John Cena "You can't see me" hand motion.
Oh,
Almost.
get it out of your
So,
system.
no,
It'll-
I've already done it.
It'll be
It's
a
done.
great send-off.
Nice leg shame about the face, or lack thereof.
Woo! Spicy. Well, thank you for joining us, folks. It has been a ride. Now, what is next week? Next week.
We don't actually know.
We don't actually know. We're going to let you know, though.
Yeah.
In the next couple of days to come, we've got a few ideas kicking around. Stay tuned.
Look, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. This one kind of went a bit off the rails, but I think we had fun.
We did.
Mm.
And on that note, call adjourned.